The storm screamed across the mountains like a wild animal, tearing through trees and covering the world in white. In the middle of the night, tiny footprints marked the snow, but each one was disappearing under fresh flakes. A small boy wandered alone, holding a broken toy car close to his chest, his breath weak and uneven. The cold bit into his skin and time was running out. If someone didn't find him soon, the storm would erase every sign of him. Before we begin, tell us in the comments where you are watching from. If you believe no child should be left alone in the dark, press like, hit subscribe, and type Amen as a prayer for those who still wait for love and safety. The town below lay buried in silence. Snow weighed heavy on the rooftops, and the pine trees bent under its weight. Lamps along the road gave off weak light, circles of yellow swallowed by the storm. On the edge of town stood a small wooden house, old and tired, with a porch that leaned to one side. Inside, the air smelled of soup and smoke, but the warmth did not reach the boy who lived there. His name was Adam. Adam was only 4, small for his age, with brown hair that often fell into his eyes. His cheeks were dotted with faint freckles, and his eyes held more sadness than a child should carry. What he loved most was a toy car made of wood. Its paint was chipped, one wheel broken, but to Adam, it was priceless. His father Daniel had carved it long ago. For Adam, it was proof that love once lived in his world, but now, love felt far away. Daniel worked long hours on construction sites and often came home too tired to notice much at all. He had once been the kind of father who showed stars in the sky and told stories at bedtime. Now he was the kind of man who fell asleep with his boots still on, the television flickering across his face. Adam's stepmother Sarah filled the house with sharp words instead of comfort. She was tall, blonde hair pulled back in a loose tie, her face always tight with stress. With strangers, she managed a polite smile, but with Adam she was harsh, her voice quick to snap. That evening, she called him to the table. Dinner was only thin soup. Adam sat down carefully, small legs dangling, spoon shaking in his hand. He counted specks of pepper just to calm himself. When his foot scraped against the chair leg, Sarah turned with an icy glare. "Can't you sit still?" she hissed. Adam dropped his head, whispering, "Sorry." His voice was barely a sound. He wanted to explain his feet didn't touch the ground, but he knew explanations didn't matter here. Silence was safer. Later in his room, Adam hid under his blanket with the toy car. He whispered to it, "We go in circles, don't we?" The broken wheel clicked against the fabric as he pushed it gently. Through the window, snow drifted down like letters from the sky. With his finger, he drew a picture in the fog on the glass, a dog with tall ears and a wagging tail. He named it Guardian because he wished someone would guard him. Then he whispered words too heavy for a child. "I just want to be loved." When the house fell quiet, Adam slipped out of bed. His small hands turned the doorknob, and the cold rushed in to greet him. The night swallowed his little figure as he stepped into the storm. His coat was patched at the elbows, his mittens didn't match, and his boots were too loose. But he walked forward anyway, clutching the toy car against his chest. Each step left a fragile mark in the snow, but the storm worked quickly to cover his trail. His lips shook as he whispered, "If I'm better, will someone hug me?" Up the road, Officer David pulled his SUV to the forest line. The headlights cut only a short path through the white curtain of snow. In the back seat waited Max, his German Shepherd partner. Max was 5 years old, strong and alert, with black and tan fur and steady amber eyes. David clipped the leash to Max's harness and leaned close. "Fine," he said firmly. Max lowered his nose to the snow, circling once before pulling hard toward the slope. The prints were faint, almost gone, but the dog knew the scent. They hurried into the storm, the leash tight between them. The climb was steep and cruel. Snow stung David's face, and the wind shoved against him with each step. But Max pulled with purpose, ears forward, tail stiff, his paws steady even as the drifts deepened. Through the flashlight beam, David saw them at last. Small footprints, uneven, fragile. His chest tightened. Somewhere ahead, the child was still moving, and then, beneath a cedar tree bent low with snow, they found him. Adam was curled up, coat stiff with ice, mittens soaked, lips blue from the cold. His eyes were half closed, but they flickered open when Max crept forward. The dog lowered himself, chest brushing the snow, moving slowly, carefully. Adam lifted a trembling hand and touched the warm fur. For the first time that night, he felt heat, and a small spark of life returned. David dropped to his knees, wrapping a blanket around him. "You're safe now," he whispered. "We've got you." At the rescue cabin, the fire crackled, filling the air with the smell of wood and warmth. Adam sat wrapped in blankets, a chipped mug of hot chocolate in his small hands. Max lay close beside him, the boy leaning against the dog's solid body. His cheeks flushed pink as life returned. When Max sneezed suddenly, snowflakes spraying, Adam giggled. It was a thin sound, but laughter all the same, his first in months. Everyone in the room paused, warmed by the small miracle. Morning broke, sunlight spilling across the mountains. Adam still lay bundled, this time sleeping peacefully. Officer David watched from the corner, his face calm but thoughtful. He had seen many rescues, many storms, but something about this boy's quiet smile cut deep. For Adam, who had once whispered into the dark that he only wanted to be loved, help had come at last. This was not just a rescue. It was proof that miracles arrive quietly, through the hands of a brave officer, the loyalty of a faithful dog, and the mercy of God. If light can find a small boy in the darkest storm, it can find you too. Share this story with someone who needs hope. Tell us where you are watching from in the comments. And if you believe in second chances, type Amen. May God bless you and keep you safe through every storm.